What's dangerous is when the universe pick you and you put on the magic glasses. There's rules that go with them. You can never take them off. You never see things as they're supposed to be. You see things as they are. You can never force nobody else to wear them.
I think while I lie awake and contemplate tonight are wearing me out. Well, maybe tomorrow the world will wake and get it right, but I have my doubts, yeah. During the day, well, I design machines of war that scream through the sky. 'Cause I, for one, I like to go to bed free at night under these stars and stripes. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. Yes, I have my doubts, but they'll wind you up and pull the cord until you're spun right out, and I don't understand. Roll the dice and raise the price to feed the machine's mouth. Call it the progress of man. And I have my doubt that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts. And I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. I have my doubts, so I'll drink my stuff and raise some hell and shoot my guns to the end of my time. You can have the booze and go to hell and take the guns, but I know they won't be mine. We're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back up. Yes, I have my doubts. So we're all messed up and out of touch. Let's text someone who's in the other room. So don't wonder why we don't say hi or know anyone. I might as well move to the moon. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. Well, the things I think while I lie awake and contemplate at night are wearing me out.
Good afternoon. Hope everyone is doing well. I've got, wow, I actually closed some of the headlines because it was like, damn. At first, when I started going through them, I'm like, there's really nothing. And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, wait, because, honestly, throughout the day, yeah, I mean, if there's something really super important, I'll probably take note, but for the most part, I just share out the headlines. Again, if it's something of interest, I will read it, but the majority of them, no, I share out the link. A lot of it's same old, or just minor updates to the same old. But, I started getting in a little bit deeper, and it's like, oh, yeah, so there is quite a bit of action going on right now between Ukraine and Russia. Quite a bit of tit for tat going back and forth. As you, I'm sure, are aware, the United States wants to do everything they can to get F-16s into their hands as quickly as possible. And Lord knows, probably among other things. And something to probably keep an eye on. Now, a headline just came out right I guess right as the intro song was playing, actually, or that's when I noticed it, and I had to include it in tonight's news. So looks like I've got 9, I guess, open, 9 tabs open. Other than that, don't have any updates. Didn't get anything super productive done today, other than reading. I have done a fair amount of reading today. Holy cow, is the book good. And I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm gonna make a video where I'm gonna spoil the hell out of the book. But, for the moment, I'm not gonna spoil it. But what I will say is, it's kind of starting to dance on the line of fantasy-ish. It's not. It doesn't go as far into the fantasy as, say, many other very popular authors in the genre. Not quite as deep, at least so far, into the fantasy end of things. When you're just a regular Joe and you wind up in situations to where you can call in airdrops and crazy crap like that, you can get the cavalry on the horn, you're kind of starting to enter, for the most part, for most of us, what would be fantasy land. And so many different book series from different authors definitely dance all the hell over Fantasyland. However, William Fortune's not one of those people. Really not. A lot of his stuff is much more realistic, and even though this is stepping up to that line of fantasy, it's still very well written. That son of a bitch. That's all I'm gonna say for now. That son of a bitch. If you want to know what that's in reference to, again, when I'm finished with the book, I am going to make a video in which I will warn people, because I'm going to spoil the hell out of it. I'm going to give you my thoughts. For right now, that son of a bitch. Anyway, it's a good book. It's a good book. I can't recommend it enough. I really can't. The whole series, that is. And in that video I put out earlier today, obviously, was a video with an image taken from that book. And I just thought that was absolutely wild that I had been harping on this so much. I had been harping on this. And I'll be damned if I didn't, as I'm reading through the book, come across this paragraph that says over time, some people had figured out how to use a charcoal fire to generate fumes that could be fed into the carburetor in order to get a vehicle moving. In town, Jim Bartlett had actually rigged up several Volkswagens that way. No. Really? I mean, and this guy, William Fortune is a very, very, very highly researched author. He's not a half-ass researched author. He is a very, very thorough research author. And to William Fortune, right on, brother. Can I do what with poop? Well, actually, yeah, you can. There are actually farms that use the poop to create methane, in which they, collect off of the waste and use it to power generators and other stuff on the farm. So they actually do that. There's a farm that's outside of town, of course, between here and St. Rose, that absolutely does that. They've got it's like a big long tube looking thing, the last I recall seeing it, that I guess stored all of the methane gas. So I don't know that much about it, but I know that there's a farm here that does it. So yeah, you can actually run on poop. Oh man. But wood gasification is the answer for the large majority. It's not something that's that far from being attainable. It just takes somebody that's good with tinkering, that understands. If you understand thermodynamics, at least on a certain level, and if you're good at combustion engines, here's going to be the make or break for you as far as whether or not you're going to be easily successful or whether you're going to battle getting your engine running using wood gasification, is whether or not you are good at tuning by ear. If you're good at tuning by ear, you'll pick up on what's up, and so you'll know what you need to adjust, what you'll need to change. If you're not somebody that's particularly good at tuning by ear, but you still know your way around a combustion engine, you just got to keep hitting at it. Make sure that you're priming long enough. Make sure that your flame that you have before you start to light the engine, make sure that you got a really good flame, and you should be good as long as it's nice, mostly blue flame. You should be pretty good. You can go ahead and try starting the engine, but you got to get there first. Let me look up there. I don't know on the poop thing what other kind of system he would have, but I'm sure it could be very possible. It seems like I can recall something how they can process poop, and I don't know if it's straw or what it is that they mix with it. I seem to think straw is one of the things, and they can actually turn it into bricks, like bricks that you burn, right? And you can actually build with it. You can burn with it. I wouldn't want to build nothing with it, but yeah, they use it for burning. Use it for heating up boiler systems and and the lot. So, doesn't surprise me that somebody done that. But again, how he was actually running the engine, I'm curious, and it could be something like wood gasification. If you burn that at a hot enough temperature, I don't know. I've never done it. That is interesting, though. I'll have to look into that and see if that's what it is. If you burn that at a hot enough temperature, if it produces the methane, like, bam. Because I kind of have a feeling that might be what's going on, but I'm not positive. With wood, it's hydrogen, or, well, wood gas. It's really hydrogen. Is what you're releasing. But I would think burning poop, you would be releasing methane. I don't know. I'll look into that. I will look into that. And if you got a link or something like that, definitely give it to me, man. Because I am certainly looking for as many different options as possible. And the poop option is an absolute viable option, along with wood gasification. If that's the case, if it's just a matter of burning it at a certain temperature, not a problem. Anyway, nice poop talk. It's like a pep talk, but with actual benefit. Imagine that. Alright, well, I guess I reckon I ought to start on this 4,000 tabs in front of me and discuss. Oh, crap, my Oculus is open. I went for a moment into VR chat. Yeah, it's a scary, dark place. But I went in there because I was trying to figure out, somebody mentioned something about using it to watch, like, a movie with other people. And I thought, well, that's cool. I want to learn a good way to do so. And so anyway, I went in it to try to look around to find out how this dude was watching movies in it. And that thing is just scary, and I don't know. I mean, I'm just in there by myself in this little home thing, it calls it, but I don't know. It's just weird. And I'm just, like, oldish, so that's an issue, I guess. Right on, Christopher. Howdy, howdy. Alright. Some news. Swarm of drones attack airport in Russian city near NATO state. Now, I'm kind of gonna go through this, I guess, how it all came out as it's going on, just to kind of give you a little bit of a heads up what's going on over there today. Well, today to us, tonight to them. Swarm of drones attack airport in Russian city near NATO state, says governor. It says Russian... Damn, my neck. My neck and my damn spine is still out. Ow. Anyway, the Russian city of Pskov, I don't know how the hell you pronounce that, near the territory of NATO members Estonia and Latvia, has come under attack by a swarm of drones in the early hours of Wednesday. The regional governor confirmed the raid, while videos showing an explosion and air defenses lighting up the night sky made rounds on social media. The Russian military is repelling a drone attack on the Pskov airport. Regional head Mikhail Vedernikov confirmed on Telegram, adding that he was on site since the start of the incident. Initial information says there were no casualties. We're working to assess property damage, Vedernikov added. Russian authorities have briefly closed the airspace in the region, while Pskov Airport canceled all flights on August 30th to assess potential damage to the runway. Emergency service told TASS that 4 Tu-76, I guess, transport planes were damaged on the ground, but the military is yet to confirm these reports. So, that's going on, right? I'm going to try to condense this a little bit. apparently, there was more attempts made. This here says Russian air defenses repel more drone raids. Says Russian military has prevented a series of attempted Ukrainian drone strikes, with 3 unmanned aircraft shot down in the border region of Bryansk and another one intercepted over Oryol, some 200 kilometers from the Ukrainian border, the defense ministry in Moscow said early on Wednesday. Russian air defense units prevented an attempt by the Kiev regime to carry out a terrorist attack by airplane-type UAVs on Russian infrastructure shortly after midnight, the military said in a brief statement. Around 2 a.m., another drone was detected and downed over Kaluga region, southwest of Moscow, the defense ministry added in another statement. There were no injuries in Bryansk, according to Governor Alexander Bogomaz, who said on his Telegram channel that all emergency services are already working at the scene. Earlier, Russian Aviation Authority had announced the emergency closure of airspace over the Tula, Ryazan, Kaluga, and parts of Moscow region following explosions at an airfield in northwestern Russia, which was the situation that I previously told you about. Now, you've seen the tits. Let's look at the tats. Russian strike destroys Ukrainian military train. So, right on, brother. Thank you, Christopher. The Russian Defense Ministry has published a video of what it described as a successful strike on a Ukrainian military train carrying artillery munitions and weapons. The clip, published on Tuesday, consists of aerial footage of a freight train and several edits of explosions and billowing smoke, thought to be of an initial strike and subsequent detonations of the cargo. The report claimed a Russian reconnaissance unit had spotted the arrival of the military transport at its final destination somewhere along the Donetsk front line. A surface-to-surface missile was then used to target it before it could be unloaded by Ukrainian soldiers. Moscow claimed that some 30 Ukrainian troops as well as 10 military vehicles were eliminated alongside the artillery shells being brought to the station. The Russian Ministry of Defense regularly reports hitting trains used by Ukrainian military to resupply its forces. Last week it said an Iskander missile struck in Dnipropetrovsk, region, killed more than 200 Ukrainian troops and destroyed 10 military vehicles as they were being transported to the front line. So, not doing so hot. May have a drink of coffee. And just as the sting of the slap starts to wear off, comes the bitch slap. Russian MOD claims destruction of Ukrainian landing force. A Russian Navy attack jet has sunk 4 boats transporting a force of Ukrainian commandos, the Defense Ministry in Moscow announced early on Wednesday. At around midnight on August 30th, the naval aircraft of the Black Sea Fleet destroyed 4 military speedboats carrying a landing force of Ukrainian special operatives, numbering up to 50 men, in the waters of the Black Sea, the Russian Defense Ministry statement said, without giving a more precise location. Earlier this month, Moscow published a video of Russian military jet destroying a Ukrainian speedboat off the coast of Snake Island near Odessa. The watercraft was identified as a Willard Sea Force boat sold to Kiev a decade ago by the U.S.-based Willard Marine. Ukraine had purchased several versions capable of carrying anywhere from 6 to 26 troops each. Last week, I guess you can't carry less than 6 troops. I don't know. Ukraine continues to claim Crimea, even though blah blah blah. Just the history of it. Don't need to go over that again. But damn my neck. As you can tell. Huh. And I'm sure a very, very, very retro Saturday Night Live would tell Russia and Ukraine, Samadana now. Samadana now. But, not the new Saturday Night Live. They suck. Anyway, U.S. warns Russia about questioning diplomats. I guess they can't use bamboo shoots under the fingernails anymore. And I guess waterboarding is now torture. I don't know. Plans by Russia's Federal Security Service to question 2 employees of the U.S. Embassy in Moscow is an attempt to intimidate and harass American citizens, Washington has said. Russia is obligated under the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations to treat diplomats with due respect and to take all appropriate steps to prevent any attack on their person, freedom, or dignity. That's pretty hard to do because they pretty much, they destroy their own dignity. U.S. State Department spokesman Matthew Miller said in a statement on Monday. I mean, come on, Biden, you see any dignity there? No. Washington expects Moscow to fulfill its commitments under the convention in relation to the current case, he added. We strongly protest the Russian security services' attempts, furthered by the Russian state-controlled media, to intimidate and harass our employees, Miller said. On Monday, the FSB announced summonses had been issued for 2 American diplomats, David Bernstein and Jeffrey Sillen, who work at the U.S. Embassy in Moscow. The security agency said it's looking to question the men as witnesses in the case of Russian citizen Robert Shonov, who is facing treason charges. Unlike the U.S., that would unlawfully, very unlawfully, keep a man by the name of Julian Assange on the hook for crimes that don't even make sense because he's not a citizen. That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, so this guy, they're claiming that he's dead, right? DNA they claim has confirmed that it was certainly Evgeny Prigozhin. I'm not gonna hold my breath or put any weight either way. I know better. I know better. This guy can do a hell of a lot more as a ghost than what he can being a, known threat. Anyway, let's say he is done and planted. Russian businessman Evgeny Prigozhin. Now he's a businessman. He's not like a mercenary group leader or nothing like that. He's just a businessman. There's no difference there. I mean, doesn't all businessmen... Never mind, we won't go that dark. Anyway, he's been laid to rest at the Porokochikoy Cemetery in St. Petersburg, his media team announced on Tuesday. The controversial tycoon was best known for his association with the Wagner private military group. Well, yeah. The funeral ceremony was held behind closed doors with only close relatives and friends of Prigozhin that could stand the smell. The exact location of the Wagner's chief's tomb has yet to be confirmed. But his media team said that everyone was welcome to visit it at the graveyard. Images circulating online suggested the late Wagner boss had been buried alongside his father, with a wooden cross erected on the grave. Russian flags and those of the private military company were flown at Prigozhin's tomb, the photographs show. So, whatever. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah. I mean, how do you even take a stab at that? I mean, because Putin could have wanted him dead. Ukraine wanted him dead. U.S. and, I don't know, many other nations wanted him dead. Putin's not raising very much hell about a plane getting taken down in his territory. So that is certainly something. My guess is if he is planted, then Putin did it. And if he's not planted, Putin did it. So Putin did it. Anyway, China is issuing trade war warnings to us. Literally says to us, but I think that means U.S. How narcissistic of me. China has raised serious concerns over U.S. tariffs targeting its semiconductor industry and wider tech sector, warning that such measures violate the principles of fair competition and makes them bitch out. No, and harm the stability of world trade. Speaking after a round of talks with the U.S. Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo in Beijing on Monday, Chinese Minister of the Commerce Wang Wentao said that while that's a pretty cool name, by the way, Wang Wentao, I mean, like Bob Barker, rest in peace, would have had a great time with that name, would he have not? Wang Wentao, come on down. Sorry. Anyway, said that while the two sides had candid and constructive dialogue, ongoing U.S. restrictions were continuing to hamper trade ties. Wang raised serious concerns about issues including the U.S. Section 301 tariffs on Chinese goods, its semiconductor policies, restrictions of two-way investment, discriminatory subsidies, and sanctions on Chinese enterprises, the ministry said in a press release. Now, I've just got one question. So, is like Dick short for Wang? Cause I'm just what how am I supposed to shorten Wang? It works for Richard, so I just didn't know. And it's both 4 letters, so we just say Dick. Anyway, I don't know why this channel don't go anywhere. Let's see. Yeah, yeah, I saw that meme too, dude. I saw that meme too. Hey, wow, I've already whittled this down. I've only got two more tabs open. I did pretty good at that. Wang helped me out. Anyway, Japan needs U.S. nuclear weapons for defense, says top general. Well, don't we all? I mean, I still haven't gotten the damn F-15 yet that he said was on the way. Damn. Yeah, I could use a few nukes. I mean, Japan must develop its domestic arms sector if it is to provide for its own security, a top Japanese general has said, arguing that Tokyo currently relies on American nuclear weapons for deterrence against regional rivals. Speaking to Nikkei Asia for an interview on Monday, General Yoshida, the chief of the Joint Chief for Japan's Self-Defense Forces, outlined Tokyo's defense needs, highlighting its close military cooperation with Washington. We cannot maintain Japan's security with our current capabilities, the general said, adding that we must first fundamentally strengthen our defensive capabilities so that we are not underestimated. Second, we need to do what we can to sustain extended deterrence, including through strategies involving U.S. nuclear weapons. Yoshida went on to explain that Japan has engaged in deep dialogue. That's a scary thing to say with the Biden administration. with the United States for more than a decade on extending the U.S. nuclear umbrella over Japan, noting that a deal was struck in June for additional information sharing joint training and joint missile response. Yeah, I mean, if you got deep dialogue going on with Biden, then, yeah, he'll schedule you in. He'll take right care of you. Yeah, yeah, that is kind of ironic. Kind of already late for them. Never mind the fact that we don't need streetlights anymore. We need nuclear weapons. Ah. Insanity. Don't need any damn lights. Everything glows. Let's see. North Korean. I know it's not funny, but damn it. And then they're just releasing that water right into the ocean. That is so madly insane. So insane. A third of the oceans would be made bitter. I wonder how that might happen. North Korean Navy to receive nuclear weapons. I mean, well, why the hell not? Japan's wanting them. I mean, we're going to be running a 2-for-1 sale here soon. And probably shove some up Zelensky's back door as well. I mean, crazy. North Korea is set to equip some of its naval vessels with atomic weapons, the country's leader has said, vowing to make the Navy a central component of Pyongyang's nuclear deterrent. Kim Jong-un announced the move during a visit to the North Korean Navy headquarters on Sunday, telling sailors that some ships would soon be outfitted with the tactical nuclear weapons and become part of the DPRK's state nuclear force. Our Navy should play the biggest role in defending the sovereignty, dignity, and development and interest of the DPRK, Kim said. According to a transcript of the speech released by KCNA on Tuesday morning, he added, "It is only possible to defend the security of the country with fully prepared naval force." Kim went on to state that the U.S. imperialists and other regional rivals are becoming more frantic than ever before, citing several rounds of joint military drills between Washington, Seoul, and Tokyo in recent months. Owing the reckless confrontational moves of the U.S. and other hostile forces, the waters off the Korean Peninsula have been reduced to the world's biggest war hardware concentration spot, the most unstable waters with the danger of a nuclear war, Kim continued, also citing the permanent deployment of U.S. nuclear assets in waters around the Korean Peninsula. So, here's the thing. The last I knew, the nuclear missiles that little Kim has ready to put on these subs are hypersonic. They are of the hypersonic missiles that he's been successful with. And it just blows my mind that out of the 4 nations now that have hypersonic weapons, the United States isn't one of them. For those that lost track and don't know the 4th country, made a little bit of news. It's been a little while back, but Iran has succeeded at hypersonic missile technology. Kind of messed up, ain't it? Russia, China, Iran, North Korea. We can't get a successful test. That's messed up. Yeah, I hear you on the food out of there. Vending machine. Oh man, it's crazy though. It's crazy. Hey, really messed up. I don't know. I heard something about something local today. I assume it's true. I heard that our local hospital might have been hit by the hackers. I guess the ones that lock up data or what have you. A friend of mine called me, and I guess she had an appointment or something, and I don't know. I guess I had to reschedule or whatnot. But anyway, yeah. Apparently, they're dealing with a nightmare with that. I don't, I do think we're heading for a dark time. I don't know how quick, how dark it's going to escalate. We just have to wait and see. I do think, though, it's going to get really, really, really dark. All right. Got the usual headline. Of course, I've read quite a few of them to y'all already. Well, not quite a few, but still. How the first three I already did. Alright, we'll run through these and get the heck out of here. I probably read a little bit before I fall asleep, because, damn it, he keeps hooking me into another chapter, and it's not right. And we all have to sleep sometime, William. No, it's really getting good. The book's really getting good. I am probably gonna lay in bed and read a chapter or two. Anyway, let me get through these headlines. First Russian transit cargo travels through Iran to Saudi Arabia. Russia seeks more control over fertilizer sales, says Bloomberg. Putin's attitude to Western sanctions shocks skulls, says Bild. Zelensky's aides claim raises apocalyptic risks, says ex-Russian president. Ukraine security guarantees won't be ready this year, says Wall Street Journal. World's largest crypto exchange could exit Russia, says Wall Street Journal. Let's see. Poland explains snub to Ukrainian farmers. UAE reveals BRICS bank-related plans. Kremlin reacts to claim that West endorses elimination of everything Russian. Turkish house prices more than double. Pakistani court suspends Imran Khan's prison sentence. EU clarifies stance on sanctions against late PMC Wagner chief. Kremlin welcomes Pope's appeal to young Russians. Chinese investment can help Serbia become major copper producer. U.S. warns Russia about... I covered that one. Child killed in Ukrainian shelling of Russian region. EU state blames poor sales on rain. Junior figure skating champion goes missing in Moscow. Now, I'll spoiler alert this one. She was found safe. So, I know I had read the article, and it's like, oh no. Especially if you would have read the article and it kind of made it almost appear like possibly she wasn't okay and that she possibly disappeared. And the way the article made it sound like her trainer was awfully suspect. Well, we all know how the whole trainer championship whatever thing goes. We should know that from the U.S. Olympic bullshit. I'm sure it's no different anywhere else. There's sick people everywhere. But anyway, she was found. She is okay. And we'll come across that headline. Gonna read it again. Sharp rise in attacks on LGBTQ in Berlin, says media. Toyota reveals why it suspended all assembly plants in Japan. There's a ordering glitch. So I think Wednesday they're hoping to be back up and running. Russian aviation stocks skyrocket. Lavrov to lead Russian delegation at G20 summit, says Moscow. Zelensky in danger of military coup, says former CIA analyst. EU in very bad shape, says Hungary. U.S. knew of Saudi's persecution of African migrants but kept silent, says New York Times. Here's the article where the skating champion was found. Explosions in I don't know if I read that one. Actually, I think the headline changed. Yeah, I did read that one. Chinese region offers rewards for brides under 25. So, hey. The hell. Russian air defenses. Oh, that was more. And that's actually all. So I covered them all. Fun time. Oh, man. Yeah, you ought to read the 1 Second After series, the John Matherson series. It's really good, dude. It's an eye-opener. The guy is very, very, very well researched. Probably the best researched out of all the apocalypse authors that I've ever read. Without a doubt, the ones I've read. He is by far the best. It's just the level of realism that he keeps it. Again, with the 4th book, yeah, we're starting to get touching up against the fantasy stuff. But I mean, after 4 novels, I mean, at what point, you know? But it's still done very well. Still done very well. Kevin, I'll let China know not to reserve you a bride under 25. Do you want Helga? They've got a Helga that's like 78. Would that do? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Oh, man. Anyway, I am going to hop off of here and do a little bit of reading and then do hopefully a lot of sleeping. I doubt the lot part, but hopefully I get some sleep. Anyway, I am out of here. I hope you all have a good evening. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow. I hope to see you then. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.